What's up, guys? This is your boy Ed from Elites of Each, and today I'm going to talk to you guys about decks that are going to either get better and or worse with the upcoming list. I'm going to talk about my personal opinion on 5 decks that are actually going to get better upcoming with the ban list, and 5 decks that are actually going to go ahead and get killed or murked with the upcoming ban list. This isn't me talking about cards this time. This is me talking about decks, what decks I think and or engines that are gonna just get better or worse. But let's go ahead and get it, guys. So I am gonna start off with my number 1 deck that I feel like is gonna get hit, and this is the deck that I think is gonna probably get hit the most, and or deck that I think that you guys should actually hop off of soon, which is Dragon Link. As you guys saw on my prediction ban list, I do think the Dragon Link is gonna get completely murdered and it's gonna yeet out of the meta. But I think that Dragon Link is gonna be one of the decks to just get increasingly worse. I think that Dragon Link is just a deck that people honestly are already hopping off of because it's not a great deck, and or a lot of people are actually really smart in hopping off of Dragon Link because they don't want it to get hit. So the better and longer that it is good, it's more likely to get hit. And that this is funny because personally in a couple of list packs, whenever Dragon Link was good and then it got hit with Aggro Pain and it just continued being good, I was just like, well, the deck is not dead. And then they're playing again and they're out and about. But I personally believe that if they hit Dragon Link in the form or fashion that I said in my prediction ban list, if you guys haven't watched that video, go watch it. Link down in the description. But if they do hit the way that I believe it's going to get hit, I think the deck is going to die, and I think the deck is actually really close with dying because a lot of people are also hopping off of it. I think that certain decks are really good or have a high representation just depending on how many people want to play it. But just because a lot of people want to play the deck, it doesn't mean that it's good, or play it because it doesn't mean that it's good either. So like you can have like 100 people playing it at a tournament and then like 2 people top with it. That's just not good, right? Top, like let's just say top 8 or top 16. Then that's just not too good, right? That means that this just has a lot of representation and the deck's not good. But it also means that people have, you know, like this like hope that it could be good and they believe in it, and it just doesn't mean shit. So Dragon Link, hopefully you die. I want you out of the meta. Let's go ahead and continue. So that's my number 1 deck for the decks that are going to get hit. Let's talk about deck number 2. I think that this deck is actually going to get hit, and it's going to completely change the way that the deck is going to be played. So my personal opinion is that Dragon Link will Virtual World will get hit, and I think Virtual World, being the powerhouse that it is right now with Calamities, in my prediction ban list, I talked about how I believe that Calamities is going to be a card that might get banned and or hit. And if it just gets hit to 1, like the deck's still going to be good, and then it just has a lot of different ways to continue being in the meta, which is so good. But then it also has like this thing where it's just like, if it doesn't get hit, it's going to continue being the wreck house that it is by just making Calamities or 2 Calamities. So I think that the deck is going to get hit, and I think that people should jump off of Virtual World. It being so cheap and easily to pick up, yeah, it's a small risk. It's not really one of the biggest risks that you guys are going to take, but I just believe that Virtual World is one of those decks that will get hit, and in the way that it will get hit, it will be Calamities getting hit to either 1 or 0. That was just a part of my prediction. So if that does come to happen, I am telling you guys that Virtual World is going to completely have to change the way that it's playing. And if it's not, the thing is just, Calamities is the thing, man. That's the thing that's making Virtual World. And if you're going to have to change the way that you play the game for that deck, I don't think it's going to be viable. So I think the deck will be dead. There will be changed. Maybe it will come back, you know, but I just think that the deck is going to get hit and it's not going to be playable anymore. That's just personally me. So I think that number 2 goes to Virtual World for decks that are going to fucking die. So this isn't just decks. I'm also going to be talking about engines. So let's go ahead and talk about my number 2 deck or engine, and that's Invoked. And I don't think that it's going to die. I personally just believe that it's just gonna have a little bit more of a consistency issue. So I do believe that either Meltdown or Alistair will be touched and or hit in this upcoming ban list. And the video that I made, I talked about just Meltdown, but I do believe that it's gonna be either Meltdown or Alistair. And the thing is that if Alistair gets hit, the deck might completely die. I mean, well, the engine might just completely die and not like really get played. But the thing is that they don't want to do that. So the reason being that why I talked about Meltdown is because Meltdown is a card that can get hit. It will still have a good way to be able to be played, but it's just going to be a consistency thing. So it's just going to be, you're going to have 3 Alistairs, 1 Meltdown, 3 Invocations, which is going to be perfectly fine. And then they're like, the book of the law, right? A lot of people don't really play that, but I do, and I just believe that it's going to be a little bit more of a consistency issue to be able to get that Meltdown out, since Terraforming is at 1, Metaverse being at 1 also is going to be a little bit more of an issue. And once you have that Meltdown up, it doesn't have to stay on the board for the engine to continue thriving, but it is going to help a lot. So I mean, like, it's not like it's True Draco where the field spell activates every turn and goes effect to pop or surge, you know, thing like that. No, Meltdown just activates and it stays activated. So it's not going to be like where the deck is going to die, but it's really going to hurt, and it's going to hit the consistency of the deck. So for that reason, I think Meltdown, if it does get hit, I think that it's going to be one of the engines that is probably going to be played a little bit less, and people are really going to hop off of it. And if they don't, it's because they're going to find a way to make that deck still, or that engine still relevant, right? So Invoked being so popular, it might happen, but till it happens, and if it doesn't happen, I believe that Alistair or the Invoked deck will be played less, and that's a sad thing, because it's just gonna be like, dang it, I like Invoked. But let's go ahead and continue. Like I said, Invoked number 3, Virtual World number 2, Dragon Link number 1. But the 4th deck that will get hurt from this list, and it really can change between this deck and Invoked. I think Dinos is going to get hit in some way, form, or fashion. And if it does, Dino players are going to have a lot of an issue playing the deck. But I found a way that you continue playing with the deck and still have a lot of fun. But the consistency of the deck it's just not going to be where it's at like right now. Because like right now we're playing 3 miscellaneous swords and you're just discarding. Okay, you go and effect the banish a special, and that's a free special right there, right? But the thing is that I believe that you can play Jewel Beast at 3, and then the other babies maybe like 2 petites and 3 babies, baby Ceratosaurus, just like you are right now. But instead of the 1 petite, you're playing 2. So if you do that, you up the Jewel Beast to 3, you normal summon Jewel Beast, you pop a baby, and then you just continue with your combo. So you don't really have that much of an issue where like, oh, okay, yeah, the thing is that you are going to be acceptable for Ash, but you already are with miscellaneous being at 1. And then like your thing is that now you're going to have to play Lost World at a higher way. So a lot of people are playing like 2 Lost Worlds, which is like, why are you doing that when Lost World should really be at 3? And honestly, I'm playing it at 3, but I could definitely play it at 4, meaning being that you can activate, you can add the terraforming. So then like that, you're going to go ahead and go Lost World effect, you're going to go Lost World, and then you're going to normal summon the Jewel Beast, and then you're just going to go Channeling 1, Channeling 2. So then like that, there's no Ash, but you do fall to where you can get impermed, and it's just like, and then the thing after is that they're going to get that token, and you're going to be like, touche. But then you got the thing where you just go ahead and go Karibo, summon, you go to Link Karibo, and then you attack the token and effect to protect the token, special Dino. So you see, like, the deck is not going to be completely dead. You're still going to have those situations, but I do believe that that's a thing, and I think that Dinos are going to get hit, but it's not going to be dead or unplayable. A lot of other Dino players do, but just not me. So in the ranking that I have, the last deck that will get hit, but I don't believe it's going to die in any shape, form, or fashion, is going to be Infernables. Infernables just has this thing where, like, it's just so good at what it does, and it spews out monsters, and it ends with a okay board, which is going to be like a Herald, and then Savage, and then, you know, the way that Joe plays it is that he also has Dragoon, which is nasty, which is really, really good board. But then they're like, The only one other thing is that like you could also have like Charles instead. So if you have Charles, they're gonna have like the smoke grenade. So if it goes through what I said, smoke grenade will get hit in the ban list. And if it does, I think that the deck is gonna continue to be played. That's just not gonna be played with smoke grenade because you can't play smoke grenade. But smoke grenade does give the deck that little bit of a kick to where it's too good, to where you just rip out a card out of your opponent's hand that you shouldn't, like Dark Ruler No More, and or like a Kaiju or a Lava Golem, you know, stuff like that, right? But if you have that, it's just like it's too busted. So that's the reason why I do believe that the deck will get hit, and it will get hit, but it won't completely die. So I think the deck is just gonna be okay, whatever. I can't rip another card out of your hand. Let me continue making a 3/4 negate board and just win. And that's what Infernable does, and it's not bad, it's great, and it's just that's what they do. So yeah, I think that that's my ranking for the top 5 decks that will be getting hit and hurt from the ban list. So like I said, the number 1 deck that's gonna hurt the most is gonna be Dragon Link, then Virtual World. Then you can either switch Invoked or Dino, either or, but I went Invoked and Dino. And then Infernable being the last deck, meaning that it's not going to really get hurt. It's just going to get hit. And if it does get hit, it's going to get touched. And it's just whatever, right? But let's go ahead and continue to the top 5 decks that I think that are actually going to thrive, thrive from this ban list. Let's talk about, man, making these videos about my opinions really drains me and makes me thirsty. I love when you guys comment down. It's like, man, he's wrong. It's just my opinion, dude. What can I say? But the top 5 decks that I believe that are actually going to thrive from this ban list, the number 1 deck that I believe that will thrive the most, if it does happen to go the way that I expect for the ban list to go, it's actually going to be Dogmatica. Reasons why is that Dogmatica isn't going to get any cards hit. The deck is going to continue being the deck that it is, or the engine that it is, right? And it's just going to get even more and more powerful because Dogmatica can get splashed in too many different things to where the engines or the decks that it's going to get splashed into are just going to be too busted and too good. So I don't really feel like I need to explain why Dogmatica is going to be good. I just expect for it to continue being the the wrecking ball that it is. And honestly, like Dogmatica, like if you play it right, it's like an OTK deck, so like you can play it in like a lot of things like Eldritch, Invoked, Sue, stuff like that, right? And it's going to give you the ability to help you to OTK. And for that reason being that since Dogmatica won't get hit or touched or anything like that in this next upcoming list, I believe that it's going to be the number one deck to continue just getting plus and plus and plus, because everything else is going to get touched and helped and pushed forward. And let's go ahead and go to deck number 2 or engine number 2 or whatever you guys want to call it. I believe that Sue is going to be the number 2 deck to actually get, you know, help from this balance. I'm not going to lie to you guys. A lot of people are huge fans of Sues, and for that reason, I believe that Sues are going to get helped in this next upcoming list. And it could be the smallest thing as just getting a second Trident or a 1 Broad Bull, or you know, like maybe another Barrage, I don't know, or another Rat, whatever the situation is. I feel like the easiest thing for us to get is going to be the second Trident, and it is going to help the deck, and it's just going to make the deck so much better and a lot more fun. And it's not going to break the meta, but I just believe it is going to make the deck a lot more fun to be played. And for that reason, this is another backup to why I think Dogmatica is just going to be so busted. And I feel like Dogmatica is going to go up in price because then it's going to be played in Sue, and then Sue is going to be better. And you see, Dogmatica, the number 1 engine that is going to thrive from this ban list, and Sue being the number 2 deck or / engine that is going to be in this upcoming list. So look out for that, guys. If you don't have your Sue stuff, do pick it up. It's actually fairly cheap. It's really not that expensive. So if you guys like playing Zoos, and I've already played Zoos before, trust me, it's going to get fun. So let's go ahead and continue. The next deck that I do believe that it's going to get helped, and it's not going to get touched. It's going to be Eldritch. I believe Eldritch. I have a lot of issues with that. Rolando corrects me all the time, but Eldritch, Goldboy. I feel like he has a lot of potential because of the way that it plays with Dogmatica, the way that it plays with Sues. If the other engines do get helped, of course, that the Goldboy is gonna get better. But that being said, I don't think that anything in the Goldboy should get touched. So for that reason, it's just gonna thrive. It's just gonna get so much better. I do believe that Goldboy is a deck or engine that you play with another deck so it can get better, because it's not a deck that you play by itself. You don't just go Goldboy and then play like fucking 20 traps and like 10 hand traps. You don't do that. You play Goldboy as like an engine for another deck. So with like Goldboy Zoo or Goldboy Dogmatica, Goldboy Invoke, that was the thing at the very beginning. Goldboy Invoke Dogmatica, Goldboy Dogmatica Zoo. You see, like there's all there's all these ways that you can take that deck, and it's just like, okay, the deck will get better, because I feel like once you hit Dragon Link, I feel like Goldboy is just gonna thrive. And it's just gonna get so much better. So for that reason, I do believe that I don't personally have to explain Goldboy that much. So Goldboy, number 3. Let's go ahead and continue to number 4. The fourth deck that I think that is gonna thrive from this ban list will be Salads. There's been a lot of talks about different cards that can come back from Salad, as in like Stalio to 1, or like even like a Circle to 2. I've heard that as well, or even Gazelle to 2, which I don't see Gazelle coming back to 2, but I do see Stalio being a card that can come back, because personally I didn't think that Stalio was a card that should have been hit. I think that Stalio is not as busted as like other cards. Like we did this comparison today where Joe actually called me. He goes, "Hey, do you think that Stalio or Broad Bull is more busted?" And I said Broad Bull, because it's just more generic. Stalio just detaches 1 to special a Salad from deck, which is not generic at all. And as much as I want to say, hey, look, it has a spot in the ban list, I personally don't believe this should have been hit. It's just like, I think it's dumb that it got hit. So for that reason, I don't think that it's a busted card to the point where it should continue in the ban list. I think that the card should be freed, being able to be played. We were only playing it at 1 anyway, so if you give it back to me at 1, it's not gonna make a freaking difference, because I was only playing it at 1. You can give it back to me at 3, 2, 1. I don't care. I mean, like, if the card comes back, I think that Salads do have the potential to be, get that boost from that. But I think that the card that will help Salads the most will be Circle. I think that Circle will just be the card that helps Salad the most, because we all know we're not gonna get Gazelle. And we all know that Stalio is there, but it just locks you into fire. So it's just not as busted as that getting a second Circle. So then like that, you just see it more in your hand. Not because you're going to activate 2, but because you're just going to get another one in your hand, and you're going to be able to activate it or be able to get one faster, right? So for that reason, I do think that Salads are the number 4 deck or engine, as I'm calling it, that will thrive from this ban list coming up. And last and not least, the 5th engine deck, whatever you guys want to call it, that will thrive from this ban list will be Toads. Yep, Paleozoic Toads, whatever you guys want to call it. The deck itself, Paleozoic Toads, or the engine Toads, totally awesome. It's going to be a card that more than likely will come back. If it does come back, it's gonna help the deck out so much. People keep talking about like ABC Buster being able to come back to 3. I don't see that. I don't want that personally. Totally awesome. It's not a card that I'm just like, oh, I don't want it to come back. Like it can come back. I'm not tripping. I think that the card was originally really hated by me, because it was a really expensive card, and I used to have like a set of it, and then when I used to play it, and then I stopped playing it, and I just got rid of them, and I'm just like, I should have got rid of it. It's a good card, and it is really good. It's a really busted card, but decks that can thrive from totally awesome, Toads, could be like Marinsas, could be Paleozoics, right? Because you could play Toads in Paleozoics and or Marinsas. Shout out to that dude Marco, who was on our team before. He played Marinsas, and he did a hell of a good job with that deck. So yeah, I think that Toad is going to be an engine that is going to thrive from the ban list. And personally, I believe that honestly, I believe that they deserve it. Getting that Toad back would be fucking busted. I think it would be cool. But yeah, guys, that was just my personal opinions about what decks are going to be hit, what decks are going to thrive, what decks are going to die, you know, whatever you guys want to call it, decks, engines, whatever, because I'm not just talking about a general deck. I'm talking about just small engines too, because, you know, Zoo itself, yeah, you can play pure Zoo, but a lot of people aren't doing that. They're playing like Eldritch Zoo, and then Eldritch, you know, you can play it in like Dogma Eldritch, you play it in like Invoked, you can play it with like Zoo, you know, you have all these options, right? So I'm not just talking about decks, I'm talking about engines. But that's just my personal opinion, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. I would love to go ahead and conversate with you guys about what my personal opinion is and what your personal opinion is. Don't forget, it's my opinion. If you don't agree with my opinion, that's perfectly fine. We don't have to have the same opinion, but don't take out your anger on me. If you don't believe that I'm correct, don't call me a scrub. That's unnecessary. I'm not gonna call you a scrub either, right? But I just think that, hey man, this is just what I think. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. If you want to have a constructive conversation about why I'm wrong or why you're wrong, I'm completely down. But guys, this was Ed from Elites of Each. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care and see you guys on the next one.